Before discussing how to apply makeup according to age, we must first understand the structural foundation. Face shape is not a trend, it's an anatomy. Makeup at its highest level is not decoration, it's the optical architecture, it's the deliberate manipulation of light, shadow, proportion, and perception to harmonize the natural born structure with aesthetic intention. Every face is built urban skeletal from work, frontal bone, zygomatic arch, mandible, maxilla. Above this structure lie soft tissue, fat mass, muscle, skin density, collagen's integrity. When we contour and highlight, we are not randomly adding pigment. We are create artificial depth and dimension to reshape how light interact with its architecture. Two essential optical principles govern everything. Light advances visually, shadow resists visually. From this, the entire science of contouring emerged. When you apply contour to a region, you are instructing to the eye to perceive that area as moving backward. When you apply highlight, you are pushing that area forward. The face becomes a three-dimensional topographic map controlled by strategic contrast. But before strategic come diagnosis. Understanding face shape as structural categories. Face shapes are not about labeling beauty. They are about understanding proportion. Each shape carries strength and structural focal point that should either be emphasized or visually balanced. 1. Round face, volume and soft curvature. A round face typically presents equal width and length, soft jawline, fuller cheek, minimal angular definition. Structurally, it's like strong vertical tension and angular interruption. The goal is most contour strategy is to introduce subtle vertical elongation and selective depth. Key strategic zone, temple, to reduce lateral width, under cheekbone, to create mid-face structure, jawline, to sharpen softness, outer forehead perimeter. Highlight placement should be narrow and vertical, center forehead, noise bright, and center chin to simulate elongation rather than wideness. However, balance is crucial. Over-contouring a round face creates harsh artificiality. The object is gentle shadow sculpting, not dramatic carving. Square face, strength and horizontal emphasis. Square face exhibit strong jawline, wide forehead, prominent angle, equal width at forehead and jaw. The structure already has authority. The artistic decision is whether to soften or emphasize. For softening, blend contour along jaw corner in circular motion. Diffuse temple edge. Avoid shaft. Horizontal placement. For enhancing strength, define cheek hollow cleanly. Emphasize angular brow shape. Keep highlight minimal and focused. The square face tolerates stronger contour because the bone structure supported, but harsh application without diffusion will exaggerate severity. 3. Oval face, balanced proportion. The oval face is considered structurally balanced, slightly longer than wide, gently tapered jaw, moderate cheekbone prominence. Because its proportions are already harmonious, the strategy shifts from correction to enhancement. Over-contouring disturbs balance, minimal structural refinement, light cheek contour, soft jaw definition, Controlled highlight as hygienic point. The oval face benefits most from texture and finish adjustment rather than heavy structural manipulation. 4. Her-shaped face, upper dominance. Characteristics include wider forehead, high cheekbones, narrow chin. The visual weight is in the upper third. Strategy focus on redistributing attention downward, shadow zone, temple to narrow upper width, light zone, chin center to strengthen lower third, lower cheek blending. Blush should sit slightly lower and outward to avoid drawing further attention to upper width. 5. Long, rectangular face, vertical emphasis. Long face present intended length, often narrow width, high forehead or long chin. The goal is to visually soften. Contouring strategy. Add depth to top of the forehead near hairline. Shade bottom of chin. Keep cheek contour horizontal rather than diagonal. Highlight must be controlled. Avoid long vertical strip. Instead, use centered, soft placement to maintain proportional width. The physics of light and shadow in makeup. To master makeup at a professional level, one must think in terms of lighting design. In photography and cinema, lighting determines mood and dimension. In makeup, pigment replaces external light manipulation. Matte texture absorbs light. Shimmer and satin finishes reflect light. Dust. Matte contour creates structural depth. Satin highlight mimic natural skin reflection. High shimmer create focal point intensity. Improper placement break realism. The face must appear as if light naturally fall there. Soft tissue consideration. Face shape alone is incomplete without understanding soft tissue density. Two individuals can share the same face shape but require different technique because of fat-based distribution, muscle tone, skin thickness, elasticity level. For example, a round face with firm youthful tissues react differently to contour than a round face with reduced collagen and might descend. Therefore, structural diagnosis must include bone projection, volume retention, skin behavior under light. Contouring as artificial shadow engineer. True contour color is not brown, it's a desaturated neutral tone that mimics natural shadow under specific lighting conditions. Choosing contour depth requires analyzing skin undertone, lighting environment, daylight versus studio. Age-related texture. Blend direction matter. Upward blending lift. Downward blending rock drop visually. Never blend shadow into highlight zones. Maintain optical clarity between blend. Highlight as controlled projection. Highlight is not glitter. It's a selective projection. Effective highlight placement. Highest shake point. Brow bone center, not entire brow. Nose bridge, narrow. Cupid bow, minimal. Chin, tiny dot for projection. On textured skin, excessive highlight enlarge pose visually. Strategic restraint maintains sophistication. Glass as transitional architecture. Plus, it's the bridge between shadow and light. It shapes emotional expression. High placement creates lifting illusion. Low placement increases softness. Horizontal placement widens. Vertical placement elongates. Blood color temperature also shifts perception. Warm tones enhance approachability. Cool tone refine elegance. Mood tone measure the look. Structural strategy over habit. Many individuals apply contour where influencer playlist, but universal placement do not exist. Professional makeup must answer three questions. What needs projection? What needs recession? And what emotional message should be the face communicate? When you understand that contour equal recession and highlight equal projection, you stop copy technique and start designing faces. Makeup become less comedic and more architectural. And this architectural philosophy is the foundation urban which age-based adaptation must be built because the structure of the face evolves over time. If in the previous section we viewed the face as a static structural map composed of bone, soft tissue, and proportion, then in this section we must view it as a living architecture because facial structure does not remain still. Each year, biology changes, its stage of life, gravity shifts its influence, each milestone aesthetic psychology evolves. Therefore, makeup cannot rely solely on face shape. Makeup must rely on face shape within each age stage. Age 13 to 19, when structure is protected by natural fullness. During the teenager year, the body is at its peak collagen synthesis. Elastin functions actively, skin cells renew rapidly, and the natural lipid layer on the surface of the skin is thicker. From an anatomical perspective, superficial fat are full and firm. Retaining ligaments are tight. Cheekbones are not yet sharply visible because they are cushioned by soft tissue. The under eye area retains natural thickness. As a result, light reflection on a teenager face is typically soft and evenly diffused. The most common mistake at this stage is attempting to oversculpt when sculpting is unnecessary. 1. Round face in the teen years. Because central soft tissue is already full, deep contour under the cheekbone can create an artificial hollow effect. The correct strategy is not reduction, but gentle direction. Place bust 1 to 2 cm higher than the center of the cheek. Slightly arch brow to introduce vertical lift. Everything highlight, avoiding large shimmer particle. The goal: preserve youthful freshness while avoiding excessive visual roundness. 2. Long face in teen years. At this age, long face rarely show hollowness. The primary concern is excessive vertical dominance. Solution: keep brow strengther. Apply plus horizontally. Avoid overly sharp nose highlight. The objective: reduce vertical emphasis without aging the face. 3. Square face in the teen years. Because soft tissue is thick, the square jawline does not appear overly sharp. Therefore, no need for aggressive jaw contour. Focus attention on eyes or lips to create focal balance. Use warm tones to maintain softness. Makeup at this age is the act of preserving natural vitality. Age 20 to 25, structural peak, the era of identity formation. This stage marks a period where bone structure become more visible, penis still full soft tissues. Cheekbone begin to show stronger projection. The jawline become more defined. Lip border are clearer. Skin tolerates stronger sculpting technique. Makeup at this stage can experiment with shaper technique, but strategy will differ by face shape. 1. Round face at 20 to 25. This is an ideal time to define the cheekbone. Apply diagonal upward contour more distinctly. Concentrate highlight on the highest point of the cheekbone. Pull boost toward the temple. When executed correctly, the face can shift from round toward a soft oval appearance. Long face at 20 to 25. Stronger mid-face structure can help shorten perceived length. Enhance cheekbone prominence. Use horizontal bronzer placement to create a visual cut. Divide visual perception into layer zones. The goal: break the monotony of vertical length. 3. Square face at 20 to 25. At this age, a square face expresses its powerful beauty most clearly. Two strategic directions exist. Maintain strong structure. High fashion aesthetic, slightly shortened, modern, feminine style, but never erase natural personality. At this stage, makeup becomes a tool for building personal identity. Age 26 to 30, the subtle transition. Collagens begin to decrease as an average rate of 1% per year. This number seems small, but accumulate over time. Emerging changes include slight reduction in central cheek fat past, smile line becoming visible during expression, reduced natural skin luminosity. Makeup is no longer purely sculptural, it begins to serve maintenance. 1. Round face at 28. If deep contour from age 22 is continued, the cheek may appear unnaturally hollow. New strategy: softer contour, increase glow highlight. Prefer cream contour over powder. The goal: lift, not curve. 2. Long face at 28. If blush is placed too low, the face may appear to sag. Solution: place blush at mid to high level. Avoid overly deep temple contour. Keep noise bridge highlight soft. 3. Square face at 28. Slight laxity at the jaw corner may appear when smiling. Blend contour meticulously. Keep the center of the face bright to create a lifting illusion. At this age, blending technique becomes more important than product quantity. Age 31 to 33, when gravity begins to speak, this milestone marks more noticeable biological shift. Retaining ligament begin to loosen, under eye fat decreased, nasolabial fold deepened, jawline lose sharp definition. Makeup strategy must transition from sculpting to visual lifting. Core principle: any direction increase perceived age. Any upward direction create rejuvenation. 1. Round face at 33. If reduction technique continue, the face may look tense and lifeless. Instead, place blush slightly higher. Highlight the top of the cheekbone. Avoid placing contour too low. The goal: elevate the mid-face. 2. Long fade at 33. Mild hollowness may appear along the cheek. Avoid deep contour. Heavy matte finish. Replace with hydrating foundation. Cream blush. 3. Square face at 33. The jaw may soften but remain wide. Keep central facial area illuminated. Apply eye makeup in upward angle to visually lift the entire structure. At this stage, every brushstroke must be conscious of gravity. If at age 20 makeup is the art of sculpting, then after 35, makeup become the art of redistributing light. Because of this stage, changes no longer occur only at the surface. They begin within the bone, the retaining ligament, and the shifting of soft tissue volume. This is the phase where continuing to apply a 25-year-old strategy creates imbalance. Age 36 to 40. Bone resorption and central volume lost. At this stage, biological changes occur at deeper structural level. Mild mandibular resorption, gradual widening of the orbital cavity, loss of open cheek volume, superficial fat descending lower. As a result, the mid-face is no longer as full as before. The face may begin to appear up through its like structural support. Makeup must visually compensate for lost volume. Core principle: do not create deeper shadow. Create the illusion of fullness through soft light. 1. Round face at 38. At 18, the goal was to elongate a round face. At 38, continuing to reduce width can make the face appear tired, because now the roundness is no longer from youthful fullness, but from structural and fast redistribution changes. New strategy: reduce deep contouring. Inscribe glow highlight on the top of the cheekbone. Place blush high and blend toward the temple. Prioritize cream product for visual hydration. The objective is no longer slimming. The objective is lifting the center. 2. Long face at 38. At this age, a long face may develop slight hollowness in the cheek and temples. Continuing to place deep contour on the side will intensify that hollow effect. Strategy: avoid overly sharp nose highlight. Restore volume visually with cream blush at the center of the cheek. Use soft bronzer instead of sharp contour. The goal: soften vertical line. 3. Square face at 38. The jaw angle may not be as sharp as before, but it often remains wide. Incorrect contour placement can make the jaw appear heavy. Solution: brighten the center of the face. Apply eye makeup in upward angles. Emphasize the cheekbone rather than outlining the jaw. Makeup shift from defining bone to directed the eye upward. Age 41 to 50. Light become the center. At this age, collagen decrease significantly. Elastin weakened. Skin become thinner. Superficial fat shift downward. The jawline loose definition. If matte foundation, heavy contour, and thick powder continue to be used, every fold and line will be emphasized. The strategy must completely evolve. Core principle: soft line replace sharp line. Essential technique: switch to high rating foundation. Prioritize cream blush. Avoid large particles shimmer highlight. Eliminate sharp contour line. 1. Raw face at 45. No longer focus on reduction. If you attempt to slim aggressively, you will unintentionally emphasize mild shaking around the mouth. Instead, live visually with higher placement. Brighten the cheekbone. Keep the center of the face fresh. 2. Long fade at 45. At this stage, a long fade can appear surface if overly structured. Strategy: soften the noise bridge. Avoid overly strained line. Use warm tone to restore vitality. 3. Square face at 45. A square face may begin to show mild shaking along the lower jawline. If contour is placed too low, it drags the face downward. Solution: keep contour high. Highlight cheekbone prominence. Create overall lift with central illumination. At this stage, bone structure matters less than the overall sensation of lift. Age 50 plus. The beautiful of inner strength. From 50 onward, my jawbone resonant chin may appear softer. Soft tissue descends. Skin becomes thinner and drier. Makeup is no longer sculpting. Makeup becomes the art of gentle light. Principle: brighten the center. Soften dark areas. Increase visual hydration. Avoid sharp outline. Overall strategy: lightweight, high hydration foundation. Cream brush placed gently hide. Subtle glow highlight. Avoid large shimmer particles. Avoid deep contour. At this age, beauty radiates more from presence than from structure. Makeup plays a supportive role when face shape and age intersect. A round face at 18 needs direction. A round face at 48 needs support. A square face at 22 expressive power. A square face at 42 requires gravitational balance. A long face at 25 needs vertical interruption. A long face at 50 must avoid oiliness and restore vitality. Therefore, there is no universal formula. Makeup must be based on bone structure, soft tissue fullness, collagen condition, skin elasticity, personal authentic psychology, lighting and context. The often ignored factor. Makeup under natural light differ from studio lighting. Direct frontal light flatten structure. Top-down light create under-eye shadow. Side lighting emphasize texture. Technique must adapt accordingly. The older the face, the softer the light must be. Not because we become weaker, but because structure requires lifting through correct light placement. Advances structural strategy, technique, texture, and visual engineering. Because at a professional level, makeup is no longer about product categories. It's become a system of optical engineering. Face shape tells us where to adjust. Age tells us how strongly to adjust. Texture tells us with what material to adjust. And material changes everything. Texture as structural language. There are three primary structural textures in makeup: matte, absorb light, create recession; satin, softly reflect light, create balance; shimmered, strongly reflect light, create projection. Young skin tolerate contrast. Mature skin require diffusion. The mistake many make after 35 is continuing to use matte, contour, and bright shimmer highlight in strong opposition. This creates fragmentation. After 35, contrast must soften, blending must expand, edges must blur. Structure is no longer curved, it is scattered. The center of the face at the lifting axis. From 20 to 30, contouring focuses on perimeter sculpting. From 35 onward, the center becomes more important than the edges. Why? Because aging visually begins when the mid-face descends. Therefore, the inner cheek must remain luminous. The under eyes must not appear hollow. The nasolabial area must not be darkened further. Just does not mean over-concealing. It means redistributing light strategically toward upper cheek aspect, outer brow tail lift, cupid bow, subtle, not sharp. The vertical lift of the eyes area can shift the entire facial perception upward. The role of brow in age and structure. Brows are architectural beam. In youth, slightly straighter brow balance roundness, strongly arches enhance bone structure. After 35, over high arches exaggerate orbital hollowing. Thin brows increase perceived age. Dropping tail create downward gravity illusion. Strategic correction. Slight upward tail extension. Moderate thickness. Soft gradient rather than sharp block. Brow can lift a face more effectively than heavy contour. Lips as proportional balancer. Lip structure changes over time. Vermilion border softened. Corner may turn downward. Upper lip volume reduced. At 20, overlining can be dramatic. At 40 plus, overlining must be structural. Key principle: slight clip at corner with liner. Soft diffusion inward. Avoid dark, heavy matte texture that flattened. A hydrated satin finish restores vitality more effectively than gloss overload or extreme matte. The psychological dimensions of makeup strategy. Makeup is not only structural, it's the emotional architecture. At 18, exploration. At 25, identity. At 35, refinement. At 45, radiance. At 50 plus, presence. A face at 50 does not need to mimic 25. It needs to project authority, calm, confidence. When strategy aligns with psychological stage, harmony appears. When technique fight biology, imbalance appears. Makeup as the architecture of time. The face is a living structure. At 18, it is newly built. full, luminous, structurally supported by biology. At 25, its shaped identity emerges through born definition. At 30, subtle shifts begin. Mentors become relevant. At 40, gravity speaks. Lifting becomes strategy. At 50 and beyond, presence replaces projection. Soften replace carving. Makeup suitable for each phase according to age is not about resisting time. It is about working beside it. A round face does not always need slimming. A square face does not always need softening. A long face does not always need shortening. Each face needs something different at each stage, because beauty is not the preservation of youth. Beauty is the harmony between structure, light, texture, biology, psychology, and lived experience. Makeup, when understood at this level, is no longer cosmetic. Is it architectural? Is it strategic? Is it respectful of time? And when structural, light, and life stage aligned, the face does not look younger. It looks powerful, balanced, and fully itself.